Halfway across the world, in the German city of Cologne, situated on the Rhine River, stands the world-famous Cologne Cathedral, regarded by many as the world's most beautiful Gothic cathedral. Cologne is the home of Gottfried Bohm, winner of the Pritzker Prize, the most coveted prize in architecture. At the moment, Gottfried Bohm and his son Paul are excitedly discussing a design they've been working on. They are just two members of an illustrious family of German architects spanning 4 generations. These days, Gottfried rarely undertakes new projects. He is, after all, 80 years old. So why was he eager to agree to come to the birthplace of Taoism when the master of the Wudang Temple invited him to design the Tai Chi Hall, a Taoist cultural center?
Das kann ich nicht mehr genau sagen. Ich weiß bloß, dass ich schon in meiner Jugendzeit davon gehört habe und dass es mich sehr interessiert hat. Und ich weiß noch, dass ich dann ein Büchelchen hatte, so groß, dass ich auch im Krieg mitgenommen hatte und immer in meiner Tasche hatte und sehr gerne immer darin auch gelesen habe, weil das so Lebensweisheiten für mich waren und auch für die schwierigen Zeiten manchmal so ein Spruch drin war, der einen geholfen hat.
When a conference on Chinese culture was held at Harvard University in April 2010, the participants pondered on what kind of intrinsic values prompted China's amazing resurgence. Wei Ming-tu is professor of the Department of East Asian Languages and Civilizations, and he's director of the Harvard Yanqing Institute. Founded nearly a century ago, the institute has long been an important center of Western research on Chinese culture.
Was the 6th director of the institute.
中国哲学乃至中国文化，现在在世界各地都受到普遍的重视。内在的价值呢，就中国文化之中有一些普世的价值，这些价值不仅在中国很重要，中国文化之中很重要。那么对于世界各地，特别是在21世纪。人类碰到了非常重要的挑战，就人的这个存活问题在这个氛围之中，它就更重要。
China has again become a vast and inclusive stage bedecked in brilliant Chinese red, upon which dramas that influence the entire world are played out. As a consequence of this, the people of other nations are becoming curious about the mysterious inner world of the hundreds of millions of actors who play their roles in this great drama.
Ein Chinese nimmt von Kindesbeinen an den Taoismus in seine Person auf. Er wächst damit auf. Zwar nicht unbedingt jetzt, indem er seine Lehren weiß, aber die Gesellschaft ist davon geprägt und in der Gesellschaft wächst er auf.
From the mundane activities of everyday life to the pursuit of the noblest aspirations, to one degree or another, every Chinese person absorbs the nurturing influence of Taoism.
Disons, développé, riche de la pensée chinoise, que ce soit notamment dans la version taoïste, sur le caractère, dans le domaine taoïste, c'est penser la vie. penser la vie, non pas de façon spéculative, mais pour le développement de la vie, le développement de l'énergie vitale. Tout ce qui en Chine touche à l'énergie, au chi, n'est-ce pas? Donc je crois que le domaine, disons, le plus développé de la pensée chinoise, c'est en rapport avec Shenhuo. La vie, le vivant, la vitalité, la longévité. Là, la Chine est immensément riche.
Gottfried Boehm had never visited China, but he had an interest in Taoism that had grown out of a general curiosity about the far-off and mysterious country in the East. This genuine interest was an important reason why he was given the commission to build the Tai Chi Hall.
Naja, ich finde es schon erstaunlich und überraschend, dass man zu diesem doch zunächst wirtschaftlichen Projekt so einen Gedankengang dazu hatte, dass man auch das mit dem Tempel in der Nähe oder sogar im Zusammenhang haben wollte. Das ist überraschend, auch für uns in der heutigen Zeit. Und wir haben es gerne gemacht, also er hat es ja gemacht.
However, Gottfried Boehm had no clear idea about what Tai Chi actually is. He had, however, often watched people practicing Tai Chi Chuan at dawn under the Eiffel Tower, and he could tell that their slow movements drew upon a kind of wellspring of inner power. Someone told him that Tai Chi derives from an ancient drawing in the form of a circle, but others told him the source of its value and dynamism could not easily be put into words.
我觉得我们中国人都是这太极这种东西在我们血液里面，你不必特别去读，在你生活里面就有。它有阴跟阳，阳是很阳刚的东西，阴它就是它是有阴有阳，有暗有明，有软有硬的。跟人相处也是讲究这个东西，跟天地相处，所以我们是其实最绿的民族，我们不讲征服，讲究和平共存，讲究互生共利所以这个世界是静止的，它是属于一个圆形的，像太极一样，周而复始。
While Tai Chi stirred Gottfried Boehm's imagination, it also seemed to be very abstruse. Filled with curiosity, he was driven to make an important decision. He would send his son Paul to China to wait for his arrival, at which time they would begin their own Tai Chi adventure together.
Okay, let's go.
Every morning at dawn, the Taoists on Mount Wudang recite scriptures as the sun rises. Taoists call it simply morning prayers. This has been the start of the day's self-cultivation here for thousands of years.
道教啊，这个为啥叫个早晚课呢？这是一天必修之课。那么道教的医学、道教的医法、道教的史、道的最基本理念和它的修行方式，都在早堂和晚课里边。尤其修行的方式，静心，他要读必经之课啊。他为啥早堂晚课？你每天要必修之课，不做一回你就不是个道士。
Taoists believe that a day is a microcosm of a year, and that at sunrise, yang qi is on the ascendancy just as it is in springtime. Thus, sunrise, like the spring, is a time of flourishing development. But it's also a time when distracting thoughts arise, and if they're not held firmly in check, one's self-cultivation will suffer. The Taoists believe that the diurnal cycle exerts a deep influence on people's lives, as its origins in a primitive conception of the relationship of human beings with nature.
你比如人，长得有2只眼睛吧，哎，那天上呢，有太阳和月亮，这个是对应的。然后呢，人呢，不是有头发吗？有毛发。那个宇宙当中呢，自然当中呢，有那个树和草啊。然后人身上呢有流动的血液，那自然当中呢，那就有河流啊，就等等等等。
Ancient Chinese sages believed that the microcosm of our bodies and the macrocosm of the world are both composed of yin and yang and the 5 elements. As the times have changed over the centuries, the ancient thinking of an isomorphism between heaven and humankind has taken many different forms. In the current era, it finds its present expression in scientific research.
But nonetheless, contemporary science and philosophers do hold that, of course, as beings of nature, as part of the world, we're influenced by the changes of the heavens and the seasons and the moon and the time and etc., just like anything else. So that there's been a sort of interesting shift, but the underlying thought that people are influenced by the changes, even very distant changes to them, has persisted.
For thousands of years, Taoists on Mount Wudang have constantly searched for the point where heaven, the earth, and all creatures are linked. As they see it, the world is the externalization of the human body. This connection gives rise to an affinity that is expressed in endless ways in poetry and art. Through this affinity, Taoists sense the miraculous power of heaven and earth and the unity of man with nature. They use this awareness to practice self-cultivation by harmonizing their actions with the rhythms of nature. As Paul Boehm and his assistant arrive at Purple Heaven Palace, the largest building on the mountain, the morning fog is lifting. For this father and son, it's an all-new world. 600 years ago, another man came to Mount Wudang carrying with him the plans of Beijing's Forbidden City. His goal was to model Purple Heaven Palace on the buildings of the Forbidden City and thus proclaim to the whole world that Mount Wudang was the imperial seat of Taoism.
它虽然远隔那么万里江山，但是呢，它们之间呢实际上是一个母本。这种情况呢，正好说明了两者之间的在历史上的这种非常非常密切的联系，或者是同源。
The Forbidden City is in the north of China, while Purple Heaven Palace is in the south. Mount Wudang had been closely linked with the imperial capital from the time buildings began appearing here. However, never before had emperors showed such an intense interest in a mountain. During the Ming Dynasty, over a period of 200 years, Mount Wudang was the subject of nearly 400 imperial edicts. The Ming emperors demanded that the mountain itself not be altered in the slightest. The dimensions and layout of Purple Heaven Palace were meant to fuse the mountain's natural beauty with the elegance of the buildings. The goal was to impress the world with the power and prestige of the dynasty, while also manifesting the Taoist principle that the Tao follows nature, and man and heaven are perfectly integrated.
风水是什么意思？它实际上是指这个建筑啊，要避开风，抓住水。因为风啊，它一吹来之后啊，它是会把这个气给吹上的。而这个水呢，它能抓住这个气，所以叫藏风聚气。所以风水的最基本原则，也就是阴阳中和，这就反映了那个太极原理啊。
Today, as we look down on Purple Heaven Palace from above, we can see that a central axis cuts through it in a straight line. This central axis is a distinctive feature of Ming aesthetics. The palace fully embodies the feng shui principles of carrying the yin and embracing the yang, as it's nestled in a mountain facing water. All of this results in a feng shui qi field where qi can be amassed and shielded. At a point where the fountainhead of the Jinshui River runs through the palace, we find Juchua Pond. This is a feng shui channel that engenders and condenses qi.
中国成语说竭泽而渔啊，你为了打鱼，结果把水去抽干啊，你水抽干了，鱼就没有了嘛啊。就说水是本，鱼是副的，哎，你不能把大自然的资源全部用光，资源用光了的时候， 你人类也生存不下去。所以，无限制的开发是可怕的。
Walking in the mountain forests of Mount Wudang, a hiker can feel the communion between heaven and earth sought by the Taoists. Far from the reinforced concrete of the city's countless high-rise buildings, the anxiety and pressure of the city slip away almost unnoticed. When the drums sound for evening lessons, the mountain presents Paul Bohm with a sense of enlightenment.
This journey from today tells me that I was not very wrong. I think it was quite right what I did. It was different from what I saw. Different in the language of architecture, but I think similar in the intention and in the also in the intent of spaces and rooms we design.
For Paul Bohm, the journey to Mount Wudang is marvellous. As the new day dawns, he decides to visit a Taoist doctor who's lived in seclusion on Mount Wudang for 30 years. Bohm regards Chinese medicine as wondrous beyond words. Without the use of any medical instruments, a Chinese doctor is able to diagnose a patient's illness just by observing carefully, asking questions, and taking the patient's pulse. Chinese medicine is a form of Eastern wisdom that many Westerners find fascinating.
Yeah.
Also feel your pulse.
Yeah. And look at my tongue. What is it? It's 2 years, I think.
2 years ago.
Yeah. And he gives me some medicine. I take Chinese medicine.
Life today is fast-paced and people spend their lives on the run. They want too much and they live too fast. This fast pace of life disrupts the natural harmonies of our bodies and we're forced to passively adapt to constant change. The deepest truths are the simplest ones. Traditional Chinese medicine helps patients restore the balance of yin and yang in their bodies. According to traditional Chinese medicine, diseases have their origin in a troubled soul. These painstakingly developed medicines can cure the body's ailments, but they can't maintain the body's vitality forever. The Taoist doctors living on this mountain highly esteem the natural order, and they dedicate themselves to adjusting the rhythms of one's life with those of nature. When this is done, it's possible to maintain the body's natural harmony for a long time. Dr. Wang tells Paul Bohm he should maintain a good work and rest schedule and study Tai Chi Chuan from Master Zhong. This will help him better unclog his meridians and allow him to fully appreciate the mysteries of Tai Chi. The Great Way resembles Qi in that it seems both substantive and insubstantial. It is the foundation of life, and its rise and fall are the model on which Tai Chi Chuan is based. Human life surges and subsides, cyclically rising to heights and descending to depths. Taoists believe that practicing Tai Chi Chuan can give a practitioner serenity, and this is beneficial for harmonious social relations.
人生是一个修炼的道场，就像道家讲的一样，那我们都是来修炼的，能够练一练气，知道怎么样是一种什么样是一个平顺的气啊，什么样是一个平衡的状态。逆气来的时候，能够把它顺开；那顺气来的时候，能够知道有一种节制，让它循环不绝啊，绵绵不息。
The primitive worldview of ancient Chinese philosophy sprang out of a uniquely Chinese body of health maintenance practices. The basic principle is, you are within me, and I am within you. Tai Chi Chuan is like floating clouds and running water. The firm and yielding are in perfect balance, and motion and stillness are fully integrated. Interestingly, the basic movements of Tai Chi Chuan write out the Chinese character for harmony. More than 1,000 years ago, Chen Tuan, a man of vast knowledge, gave the world a timeless classic. The ancient Tai Chi Diagram contains the secret of the cosmos, the law of inexhaustible cyclic development, which seemingly tunnels through time to occasionally make contact with the progress of civilization today. Science has demonstrated numerous times that the world we know is only a small part of a much greater whole. People want to live a better life, which is to achieve a state in which yin and yang are in equilibrium. The ancients called this ideal state Tai Chi. It's so large that it encompasses everything, and so small that there's nothing within it. Thousands of years ago, Chinese sages used the simple yet abstruse Tai Chi to disclose the harmony between yin and yang, and between the visible and the invisible, that is the foundation of the cosmos and all living things.
你要一直发展而不至于枯竭，就必须要均衡，要有一个方向。所以我们在这个世界上所看到的是，根源是太极，而人的世界呢，也要追求这个太极的理想。等于是说，我也要设法使我这个有生之年呐，我所有的行动、所有的思维、跟别人互动的模式，都要能够符合太极的一种原则，就是你不要过，也不要不及。
After the first snowfall in Beijing, Paul Boehm's representatives in China sent explanatory notes concerning the Tai Chi Hall to architects throughout China and around the world.
It's kind of a translation of a philosophy in our nowadays to see what is on earth, and it's also a window for the people like us to communicate with God. Translate this into architecture. We decided to space, which is rising by stairs. Also, this project is about.
No matter the final outcome, this is an expression of a modern man's reverence for and understanding of this mountain and the principle of Tai Chi. Humankind has, in fact, hoped to reach the beauteous state of Tai Chi since ancient times. The ancient name of Mount Wudang was Mountain of Supreme Harmony, and this name expresses the essence of Tai Chi. Day and night during all 4 seasons since time immemorial, this great mountain has towered over the lands of China as if to regulate the feng shui of the entire country, maintaining harmony between yin and yang so that they nurture and embrace each other.
和平与发展是当今世界的2大主题。武当太极文化体现了东方的哲学思想。这个精髓，太极的精髓就是和谐。如果人类遵循了这个和谐的思想，那么世界就会和平，国家就会和谐，家庭就会和睦，人类就会有更好的发展。
On special holidays, the Taoists living on Mount Wudang all climb Jindian Peak and record the positions of the stars. It's said that after we leave this world, our souls do not perish, but are transformed into stars in the heavens. Today, when Taoists gaze at the gleaming stars in the night sky, it's as if they're conversing with the countless sages who have gone before them. At some point, all of us ask, where did we come from, and where are we going? In the face of myriad unsolvable mysteries, how can we calm our souls and maintain our composure? These are questions for the ages.